Hello everyone, it's Maria here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to make a really quick card using one stamp set. Today I'm going to be using the Blossoms in Bloom stamp set, and I'm actually going to use the images from this stamp set and not just the sentiment, which is what you've been seeing me doing lately. And we're also going to be using the subtle 3D embossing folder. As you're aware, this is one of my favourites. I actually have a sample to show you today. I made this on the weekend and it is this beautiful card. I like the subtle folder. Just adds a really nice texture behind, and it just looks like canvas. So because these images are kind of like watercolour images, I thought that that pairs together very nicely. Now I'm going to switch out the colours. So the colours I used in this card were Balmy Blue, what's this called here, Pacific Point. Then for the dots in the middle, for the stamens, I used Daffodil Delight, and for the leaves I used Pear Pizzazz. But for this card I thought I'd switch it up, and instead of using Whisper White cardstock, I'm going to use Very Vanilla. So I'm going to use this colour, and I'm switching out the colours as well. So I'm going to be using Soft Suede, Old Olive, Crushed Curry, Blushing Bride and Merry Mellow. And we will get started. So we'll get started on the card. So I've got here a piece of thick Very Vanilla cardstock. It's half an A4 and then I've scored it in half again. So I'm just going to fold and burnish that score line. So this is the thick Very Vanilla cardstock. Thought it'd be interesting to do something a little different. And then I'm going to also use a piece of just regular Very Vanilla cardstock, and it's 1/4 of an inch shorter than the card base itself. So as you can see, it's got a nice border around it. This card is just full panel there. This one's going to be 1/4 of an inch. So we'll just see what the difference is. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of change up the colour scheme. I'll be using my Stamparatus. I love using this tool because it enables me to do that fun effect where we have the lighter colour. Sorry, I've just dropped the card that I needed to show you again. But basically it will allow you to do this cool effect where you've got that the colour of the stamp, see, like that, all, and do 2 tones. So I'll show you how to do that. It's really, really simple. So I'm going to grab the stamp, and it's the large flower image there. Okay, and we're going to place that down the bottom here, and it'll take up basically the whole, nearly the whole front panel, which makes it nice and cool. So, no, we'll do it like this. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to ink that up in Blushing Bride. I love this pink. It's a nice dusty pink, kind of got grey-ish sort of tones in it, which I like. And we'll now stamp with it. Now the reason why I use the Stamparatus is because it allows me to go back on it again if I need to. So I'll just use this and just do that without wrecking my fingers. And that turned out beautiful. So I'll just put that away for a second. I'm going to clean this. And I'm using the Stampin' Spritz today. This is a very old bottle that I have. But this is a great cleaner. It cleans your stamps really nicely. And it conditions your stamps as well, especially your rubber ones. Makes them really cool. So we leave the stamp as is in the Stamparatus. And then I'm going to put the cardstock back in, and then I'm going to use some Merry Mellow, and I'm going to use a sponge dauber and just bring up some ink onto that, and we're going to just dauber the middle of the flowers without inking it in unless it's running out. And we're just using whatever's on the sponge, right? So it's nice and easy. Spread it around. And it looks like you went to the trouble of shading. So I love the sponge daubers. I have one of each colour basically. And again, I'll just use this to rub it across. And it looks like that. But I'm going to use it again and make the colour a little bit more pronounced. Now I think that my Mary Merlot ink is running low, so I'll make it a little bit darker. I'll just dauber the middle. And that's a cool way of adding colour to your stamps as well, and you can add different colours. And with this being positioned in the Stamparatus, it makes it really, really easy to add shading of different colours without contaminating as well your... Okay, so that's how that looks. So if you look at the shades together, they're quite similar. They blend in nicely together. So I'll take that away for a second and then just spritz this. Okay, so now whilst I have the Stamparatus out, what I'm going to do is put my sheet back in, and I'm going to use the thank you sentiment from this stamp set. I find I use thank you cards a lot more than any other kind of cards, and it's always nice to have something on hand. So what I'm going to do with this as well is I'm going to use some quilter's grid. This is just stuff you find in the haberdashery store, and it's got a lovely grid, but I laminated mine to ensure that the grid doesn't wear off. So I'm just going to put it on top here, and I'm going to position my stamp to make sure it's nice and straight, because this is all just going to be one, kind of like one layer. So I want to ensure, and I'll just bring this close to me, that it is all straight. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time if I muck it up. So I'll just put that over the top, and the quilter's grid is now gone. And I'm going to ink that stamp up in soft suede. Just wipe away excess ink just to ensure it doesn't get on my project. It shouldn't, but just to be sure, I like to do that. And then that's stamped absolutely beautifully. See that? Gorgeous. All right, so I'll just clean this off quickly. Okay, and that is it now with my Stamparatus. I'm going to bring back my panel there, and I'm going to use this leaf image here, and we're going to stamp some leaves right around. And I'm going to use a block for this. It's much easier to use a block on this one. So I've put that on my smallest block here. I've got a scrap piece of cardstock right there. I'm going to use Old Olive, and what I'm going to do is ink it, stamp off once, and then I'll just stamp like that, stamp off, and I'll just stamp some leaves all around. And I'll go down the bottom here too. Okay, so I've stamped some leaves now all around that. I think that turned out really pretty with that green. It's a very nice shade. I love Old Olive. It's a nice classic green. It's been around for a really long time, as long as I've been with Stampin' Up, which is about 10 years on and off. This colour has not left the collection at all, which is cool. Goes with a lot of things. Nice classic colour. Alright, so the next image I'm going to use from the stamp set is the stamens here. So I'll bring those out. And for that, I'm going to use crushed curry. But I'm just going to clean my table here because it's gotten Mary Merlot all over it. Okay, and that should be all right there. All right, so I'll bring back that panel piece now. I'm going to bring my crushed curry, and we're just going to stamp the stamens all over the middle of the card. I like this colour combination, it's nice and pretty. Can also make a really nice, even a Christmas thank you without it being an obvious Christmas card, but the colours kind of, I don't know, they kind of can go for Christmas as well, which is nice. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss this panel here with the Subtle 3D Embossing Folder, and we're going to run it through twice. So, I'm going to give that nice kind of, what's it called, like linen effect through that. I love that texture. So I'm just going to use my Stampin' Up cut and emboss machine. And we just use our regular platform. I've got the old Sizzix one. If you have the new Stampin' Up Subtle 3D Embossing Folder, you use the number 4 plate and you run it through. But because I've got the old style, I just use a regular number 3. In case you're wondering and you're thinking, well, what plate am I using? That's the reason why. It's just because we changed suppliers, was it last year? And Sizzix no longer make our dies and our embossing folders, so that's why there's a bit of a change in that. So anyway, this still works, so I'm going to continue using it. That's with one side run through, so the grains kind of just run up and down. Now we're going to make it go crosswise. And we'll run this through the machine again. And we go spine first usually. Okay. And we're finished now. So we'll just have a look now with that. It's kind of like a crisscross pattern now. See that? Isn't that beautiful? Really simple and effective, adds such a wow to this card. And, you know, it's like you painted it yourself on some canvas. That's what the word I was looking for before was, canvas. So it looks like canvas or like linen as well. Just stunning, simple, beautiful. All right, so I'll just grab some glue. You can use whatever adhesive you have on hand. No right or wrong on that one. Just use whatever you're comfortable with. I like using my liquid glue, because it also gives me that chance to have a little bit of wiggle room if I make a mistake. And I find as well with textured embossed pieces of cardstock, having that liquid glue gives you that chance for it to adhere well, and also that room to move. So as you can see here, I'm now just evening this all up so it looks even on all sides. And I'll just hold that down for a second. Has a really lovely vintage hand-painted look to it, which is amazing. So it's as if I painted this myself, which is amazing. So it makes anyone an artist, which is really cool. I love this stamp set. Very versatile. You know, you can use it for any occasion. And as the sentiments suggest too, you can use it as a get well, hello, a thank you, a happy birthday, a miss you, thinking of you card, any occasion. So it's a nice versatile stamp set. And this also couples with the dies. You can also buy the stamp set alone as well. It's up to you how you want to do that. So it's nice and flexible. So that's my finished card for today. Isn't that cool? I hope you like it. I like the border around that. That really makes that linen stand out, that linen look. And here is my other one that I made earlier. Let me know which of these you prefer, if you like one or the other or both. If you're interested in buying this stamp set and you are in Australia, I have a website which you can buy from, my online store, which is pepplyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. Just go in there, click on the Shop Now button and look for the Blossoms in Bloom. Just type it in and it will come up for you, and then you can purchase from there. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorials. Any question at all, please don't hesitate to leave your comment below this video and I will get back to you within 24 hours. Also, if you want to contact me privately, please go through my online store and click the contact me section, and you can contact me through there directly and I will get back to you within 24 hours. Thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it and I can't wait to see you again next time. Bye for now.